top 5 edge rushers in this draft. And we'll take it from number 5 going up to number 1 so we can build a little bit of suspense for you. At number 5, I've got Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M, 6'4", 285 pounds, ran a 4.7 in the 40, 4 sacks, 4 hits, 28 hurries, a forced fumble, and 37 tackles on the year, graded at 80.1 by Pro Football Focus. And this guy has good anticipation really on reading the option, a good mix of power, good mix of speed as well. He has a quick and aggressive spin move that's one of the best in the class, and it's very critical with that initial contact that he has on offensive linemen. Very solid first step and explosion off the snap of the ball almost immediately. He's got maybe one of the most advanced pass rush arsenals with his moves, considering his effective club swim, the cross chop. You got the two-hand swipe moves. He really brings the heat as that power rusher, and then he converts it to speed and force. Really, he converts that speed to force really well against the offensive linemen that he played against in college football. And NFL scouts and whoever drafts him is going to be looking for him to do more of that. And this guy's motor is always running. One of the hottest, most unstoppable motors, and just drive to go 110, 125% on every play, because that's what you need out of an edge rusher. That's what you need out of every player in the NFL, right? But especially when you're getting after the quarterback, being such a pivotal role in a defense. We know a great edge rusher takes the pressure off of everybody else in the secondary and on the defense as well. Now, I think he could bend better around the edges and around the corners of the better O-linemen that he's going to see in the NFL at the next level. And sometimes he'll kind of stall out when his first move is negated, so he could get some better counter moves in his arsenal. Again, he's got that club swim, the cross chop, the two-hand swipes, which I think are very solid. I think he could develop better in those counter moves and learn to chain those rushes together so he doesn't get so negated on that first move. And I think he could be a better technique tackler as well, leaving some opportunities, leaving some tackles out on the field that ultimately I thought were his for the taking. At number 4, give me Mikel Williams out of Georgia, 6'5", 260 pounds, ran a 4.77. He had 5 sacks, 6 hits, 15 hurries, 2 forced fumbles, 21 tackles, and he graded at 78.4 per Pro Football Focus. And that grade did feel kind of low to me because I watched a lot of Mikel Williams this year, being a Georgia Bulldogs fan. This is the potential premier run stopper of the class, with 37% of his snaps coming in the run defense. He doesn't have the bend or the speed that a James Pearce, Jack Sawyer, maybe an Abdul Carter have in this class, but his first step in his get off does need some noticeable work when you start to look deeper at his tape. I think his power is pretty comparable to James Pearce out of Tennessee. He's a smart defensive end. I think he's good at reading options and making the right decision of the pursuit to the ball carrier. And he can be versatile inside or out, hand in the dirt, standing up. Like, he will get after the passer if needed, but his skill set, his real defying trait is going to be him stopping the run. And I think his knowledge of the game and his anticipation as well could really set him apart from others in the draft class. He has a lot of reps at defensive tackle as well. Like I said, being that potential premier run stopper. His motor is always running hot as well. Again, how effectively, how many times, how often can you give 125% on every snap to get after the quarterback and disrupt the foundation of an offense to where everything else kind of puts more stress on the offensive parts versus, again, when you are a good defensive end, a good edge rusher, getting to the quarterback is going to make everybody else have an easier job. Now, he does need to develop a more diverse pass rush arsenal. He really relies too heavily on his power. I'd like to see some more moves like Nick Scorton brings to the table. And he does show some inconsistency with hand placement in his pass rush moves as well. He'll occasionally play too high in his stance, allowing offensive linemen to get leverage on him. You could flip Nick Scorton and Mikel Williams if you wanted to, but I believe the undisputed top 3 in this class are going to stay as they are. And at number 3, give me Jack Sawyer. And I'll just be honest with you. Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State, he has a case to contend with James Pearce Jr. out of Tennessee as the second best, spoiler alert, edge rusher in this 2025 draft class. I mean, I love what I see from Jack Sawyer on tape. 6'4", 260 pounds, ran in the 90th percentile. A big boy can move at a 4.6, 10 sacks, 16 hits, 38 hurries, 3 forced fumbles, 2 of those that he actually took in to score for the scoop and score. 59 tackles, graded at 90.5 by PFF. So the second highest graded defensive end in the class, if I'm not mistaken. A very strong, explosive first step like James Pearce, like Abdul Carter. Great bend and speed like Abdul Carter has as well. But he matches it well with strength. Something that Abdul Carter doesn't do or necessarily have in his arsenal is strength as a pass rusher. And he can keep that strength up throughout the entire pass rush rep, like a Michael Williams, like a James Pearce. I think Jack Sawyer's anticipation at the line of scrimmage and his, and on option plays between the quarterback and the running back, very good. Some of the best in the class. He can get his hands on the football, whether he's batting it down, forcing a fumble, scoring on a scoop and score. I mean, this guy really just has a nose for the football. Again, I would argue he's the second best defensive end in this class, and his nose for the football is the best in the class, arguably. He made big plays all year long, especially in the college football playoffs, whether it was against Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, you name it, obviously against Notre Dame in the national championship. And he can sniff out the run very well. Strong hands with excellent placement on blockers. I really didn't find too many weaknesses in James Pearce's game to where it was really, to where it was really glaring to me. Hold on, let me make sure that we're live on YouTube real quick, guys. I'm pretty sure that we are. Yeah, we are. Okay, it just wasn't showing in the top left. I'd say we got to be live on YouTube out of all places for episode 100, but glad we are. Again, you guys get in the chat, get in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking so far of the top 5 edge rushers in the 2025 NFL draft. At number 2, give me James Pearce Jr. out of Tennessee, 6'5", 245 pounds, ran a 4.47 as a defensive end. He is super athletic like Abdul Carter. That's in the 99th percentile for defensive end 40 times. 8 sacks, 4 hits, 43 hurries, a forced fumble, 38 tackles, graded at 87.1 per PFF. He also has a great first step and explosion as well off the line of scrimmage. Good bend around offensive linemen as well. But it's not going to be like Carter. I will say that it is not going to be like Abdul Carter with the bend in this class, but James Pearce does use his hands very well. He's got excellent spatial awareness. He's a scheme versatile player, a good mix of power, good mix of speed, and that's where he can have that advantage over Abdul Carter. I think he's got very good counter moves as well, whether it's a spin, whether he's shucking a blocker off of him after that initial contact with the offensive lineman. But he definitely could get more creative as he uses a lot of speed in his play style, which if you get it up against more of those savvy offensive linemen, the ones that can just get to their spot, set their feet well, you're possibly not going to get around them if they can get in front of you to cut off that speed angle in your play style. Now, he can chase down in the backfield very good, one of the best in the class at that. He's good at pushing inside of blocks on the offensive line, which really shows his strength in that aspect. Good vision from side to side on the field. Again, when you come out running a 99th percentile for your position at a defensive end, running sub 4.5, you're going to be dangerous from side to side on the football field. No question about it. Now, he can get too focused on rushing upfield sometimes. Sometimes he'll occasionally create escape lanes for mobile quarterbacks. He'll kind of get pushed too far up the field to where a quarterback can just climb the pocket. So there are some things he could work on in that aspect. And then the number 1 edge rusher in the 2025 NFL draft class is none other than Penn State's Abdul Carter, 6'3", 250 pounds, ran a 4.48, also in the 99th percentile, very similar to James Pearce. They both have similar play styles. I just think James Pearce is a stronger edge rusher. Abdul Carter had 13 sacks, 10 hits, 43 hurries, 2 forced fumbles, 68 tackles, and was the highest graded defensive end in the class at 91.3. And this guy's a finesse edge rusher, the best first step, the best explosion off the snap in the draft class without question. The speed and the bend is his game, and it is also the best in the class. He is a big-time finesse edge rusher. Now, he's versatile. Don't let him fool you. He can go from defensive end to defensive tackle if need be. He consistently beats those good tackles to their spots and forces the quarterback to abandon the clean pockets if it's necessary. And he does have background as an off-ball linebacker, which I kind of see that in his play. I think that's why his speed and his bend and his finesse is so eye-popping on the tape, because it shows up not only when he's, playing D end or D tackle, but with that background of an off-ball linebacker, he's got very solid spatial awareness, the ability to sniff out the screens and the outside runs if needed. I mean, he can chase somebody down. There's no question about it. good closing speed in those situations, but he doesn't have any power really at all in his game. If you turn on the tape, you'll see a lot of times he's getting pushed into the dirt. He's just getting pushed out of the play. So he does need to be, grow his frame a little bit, need to have some more power rather than speed, finesse, and bend in his edge rushing play style. And his lower weight for the position really reflects that too. I do think he needs significant growth in terms of counter moves on the line, and he could use his hands better in pass rushing technique. His tackling form can break down in space at times as well. But overall, Abdul Carter is a premier elite prospect, and he will be taken with one of the first picks in this NFL draft. There is no doubt about that. So from the 5 to the 1, at number 5, give me Nick Scorton. At number 4, Mykel Williams. Number 3, Jack Sawyer. Number 2, James Pearce. Number 1, Abdul Carter for the top 5 edge rushers in the 2025 NFL draft.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.